Here now to discuss is Steve Forbes. He is Forbes media chairman. So just some quick fact checking on what Joe Biden said, if you care about numbers or data or accuracy. He talked about the K-shaped recovery and the divide between rich and poor getting worse under President Trump. Actually, the exact opposite is true. We know that for the lowest wage earners, their wages were growing at twice the rate of their bosses. And that under the Obama-Biden administration, the divide between rich and poor expanded almost the whole entire time until the last year. Median income fell, and they had the slowest, worst recovery on record ever for how long the Federal Reserve has been keeping those stats. What do you think? Does he not have data available to him, Steve Forbes?
He's grasping. Because under him, he talked about, shed tears about manufacturing. Manufacturing jobs, we know, were slaughtered under the Biden-Obama years, started to come back on President Trump and starting to show signs of life again. You look at purchasing managers and others, they're optimistic, more optimistic than people thought possible a few months ago. And that jobs report is even better than some of those numbers. The number of people unemployed went down 2.8 million. 2.8 million. And if you look at what they call the household survey, which does a better measure of measuring small businesses, the number of jobs last month actually went up over 3 million. So this is a very positive report. And the other thing to keep in mind is earnings, average earnings are starting to move up again, which is a nice surprise. And the number of hours worked is starting to move up again. So in that sense, it is positive, moving in the right direction, far faster than the gloomy experts thought last March or April.
So you mentioned the household survey. I'm glad that you did, because if you look at the net number of jobs in there and you break it down by race, Joe Biden also said that this recovery has been particularly hard for, he said, Black, brown, and Latino people. I don't know what that means exactly. But if you look at the numbers, Charles Payne pointed this out as soon as the numbers came out. Over 1 million net jobs created for Hispanics of those 3 million you were just talking about there. Almost 400,000 for Black Americans. This is net numbers. So those are terrific numbers, especially on a percent of the whole or percent compared to the rest of the population. A lot of people of color going back to work, contrary to what Joe Biden said.
Well, that's right. And that's what, sadly, some the far left are actually worried about. This thing is starting to be a broad-based recovery. And one of the things, of course, Biden doesn't mention is President Trump's desire to have a payroll tax holiday, which would be especially beneficial to working people. He put out an executive order. Now they've got to put out another one to make sure the employers don't withhold that money. And why did we have to do it by executive order? Because Congress wouldn't pass it. These tribunes of the people, these lovers of the people, won't go for a big tax cut for working Americans, and employers make it easier for employers to hire people. So look at their actions. You saw it in the salon a few days ago.
Yeah. The reporters at this press conference did not ask Joe Biden any policy questions. They only asked him about President Trump.
Melissa,
and it was
almost as if Biden had written the questions himself. I mean, like a Soviet Union press conference.
When he said, yeah, what do you think about his soul? What does it say about his soul? They asked Joe Biden about President Trump. But separate from that, he did reveal a couple days ago what he thought the right medicine for the economy was. And he said that when we had the Great Recession under Obama-Biden, instead of it falling into the Great Depression, that they unleashed the largest spending package of its kind, and they saved the economy. I don't know if they know it was the slowest and worst recovery on record, but do you think that his policy prescription of unleashing more spending than has ever been seen in this country for this type of thing, is that the right policy prescription?
No, and their spending binge and regulatory binge when they took office really hurt the recovery. And that's why, as you say, this was usually after a sharp downturn, you get a sharp upturn. Then the question becomes, can you sustain it? And so where do they get the resources for all of this spending? Government doesn't create resources. People in the private sector working create resources. And so you take those resources away. Do you want Joe Biden in charge of those resources, or do you want entrepreneurs and consumers in charge of those resources? You know what's going to happen. It's going to be politics, huge waste. And so you look at what New York City's done to the restaurant industry. You want that kind of mentality in Washington? We don't need it. So, again, where do those resources come from? They come from thee and me and everyone else. And I trust the American people more than I do Washington politicians.
No, you're absolutely right, because he promised to raise taxes heartily. And that is exactly where that income would come from that he's talking about spending and redistributing to wherever. Steve Forbes, thank you. Have a terrific weekend.